If you're awake tonight and you see the sun or the moon rise, or tomorrow night, treat yourself. Neil Young, Harvest Moon, for my girlfriend, Barbara. I always love it. Take a couple breaths. I'm going to adjust the camera. Into whatever the transition is for you now. Again, we heard that they feel a little bit of fall in Florida, which is kind of unheard of. But a big transition from summer to fall. We have a giant moon, the harvest moon. And in yogic philosophy, in the spring equinox, we planted all the seeds that we kind of wanted to nurture and grow and cultivate until the autumn equinox. And tomorrow, actually in the middle of the night tonight, Montana time is 12:50. I think you're 2:50 in the east, and what would be 11:50? The time the universe and nature bring the moon and the sun in perfect alignment. And it's only for a second. But what does that tell us too, right? It's a lesson that there is a time that we can bring ourselves into perfect alignment. And the universe shows us this twice a year. So tomorrow, autumn equinox, the first day of fall. All of our leaves just changed overnight here because we had a dusting of snow. No, it's not the same in Florida, but I am happy to hear you say you feel the change as well. So, from your backs, let's draw the knees into the chest. I have no idea what camera angle, and I know you can't even like these in. Thumbs up. Only thumbs up. Can you hear me? Yay. Okay. All right. Knees into the chest. Draw the hips up. Curl into the low and mid back. The knees come in. The thighs rest on the chest. And just take some movement here. I like to circle because I like to massage down to my tailbone and up my spine. But if side to side between the hip points through the pelvis feels better, you take what you need. And we'll just start here to open up through the center of the body, the shoulders and the hips, all at one time, but nice and easy with breath. So holding the right knee in, hug it into the outside of the rib cage if you can, towards the right shoulder, flex the foot, and send the left leg long and let it hover a couple inches off of the floor. Again, pressing the heel away, spreading through the toes. Notice now, just for a second, if you can lift your chest and squeeze your shoulder blades under so that you feel the shoulder tips drop away. Notice the face, the jaw, and the tongue. Press the right knee in, send the left heel long, activating the left hip flexor, left quad. You got to stretch through the calf, through the Achilles. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, take the shoulders off the mat, the head towards that right knee, activating the core. So we draw the belly in, and then slowly, shoulders, head come down, and we're going to switch sides. So the right leg's going to hover, the heel's going to press away, the toes flare back towards the shin, and we hug the left knee in. And as we hug the left knee in towards that side body again, take a deep breath in, draw in the belly, and on the exhale, lift any amount you can. So we're Working through the hips, the core, the shoulders all at one time. And then on your own, I'd like you to alternate 5 sets. So you can leave the shoulders and the head up through alternating, or you can bring yourself down to the mat in between. And like we always say, we just don't come into this movement, we feel the movement. So if you feel it in the core, in the glutes, as you raise the shoulders, hopefully there's no strain in the neck. Using your breath. Take a couple more. Good. Arriving to the last one, releasing the shoulders and the head down to the mat. Hands gently rest on top of the knees. Send the knees wide, right and left. Roll onto that tailbone all the way down as the knees go down towards the back of the mat. And slowly roll up the spine as you bring the knees into the chest. So let's take 3 or 4, one direction. And the other. And when you're ready, just switch directions. So here, physically, internally and externally rotating through the hip socket. Nice massage to the spine. As the knees go back towards the back of the mat, the arms extend, you get a little bit of a stretch to the back of the shoulders. And then return yourself to center and squeeze in one more time. Extend the arms out to a T, and before we move anywhere else, notice the broadness across the chest. Maybe you feel the pecs, that muscle between the chest and the bicep. Stretch the fingers out as long as you can away from each other. Draw the belly in. You feel the whole spine on the mat. Taking in a full deep breath. Let's just drop the knees any amount over to the right. So the shoulders are going to stay nice and soft. Use that block, use that support, that towel or bolster underneath the bottom thigh so that there's no strain to hold the twist. The chest, the ribs stay up towards the ceiling. The twist happens from the belly button through the low back into the hips. Take a deep breath in, and as you sigh the breath out, see if you can slow that exhale so that the body, the shoulders, the face all soften. One more full inhale. Stay for the slow exhale. And then draw the knees back to the chest on your inhale. Pause there. Even out the back and the pelvis. Taking in a full breath, redraw in, scoop that belly in like you could just tuck it underneath those floating ribs. Reach through those fingers one more time to activate the arms. And then drop the legs over to the left. Again, support where you need the support. Sometimes we let ego get in the way here. Oh, I can do this. And then we suffer because we pull a muscle. This is a big stretch through the spine and side body. So breathe into the upper ribs and let the exhale again soften the body down. Let's draw in one more deep inhale through the nose. Maybe constrict the breath a little bit in the throat so you can hear the breath. And a nice slow exhale to just melt and touch every part of the body.
Next inhale, draw the knees back into the chest. Give yourself a nice big hug. Again, I like to encourage anybody who has knee issues or sometimes child's pose is not accessible. This is child's pose on your back. Same movement without the body weight. Taking a breath. And then plant the feet hip distance apart right outside the sit bones. The cue you probably always hear is maybe you can brush your fingertips along the back of the ankle or the heel. Taking in a breath, take a little bit of a pelvic tilt here. So belly comes in, the hips lift just a bit so you can feel the low back. Allow the arms to be beside the body, palms down. So we're going to float a couple bridges. Let's maybe take 5, mindful 5, and open the front and the back body. So as you're ready, pressing into the heels, begin the inhale, bellies in, hips lift, arms lift. Continue the movement as the hips come up and the arms come overhead. Reach long, just like a big ski slope here. And then exhale. Everything draws down, and see if you can time the breath with the movement, everything meeting at one time. That equinox, that equal second. Again, inhale, let's press our way up. Arms reach long overhead as the hips go high. Remember, knees are not splaying out. They're going to just stay nice and even hip distance. And exhale, bring it down. Nice and slow, everything arrives together. 3 more on your own. And if you need a block between the knees, just to keep the knees together, grab for your block. But inhale, let's lift. And your breath, you just bring it down whenever your exhale calls for it. Last one, lift as high as you can. Keep the inner thighs close together. Slowly return to the mat. Bring the arms to cactus now. So a 90-degree angle at the elbow. The back of the hands rest. Maybe you see if you can spread those fingers so that the thumb and the pinky finger also arrive. Just a little bit of a finger exercise. Walk the feet out to the side of the mat. So the toes are still pointing forward, but we're right at the edge of the mat with each foot. And then begin to windshield wiper. Nice and slow, right and left. Again, a nice massage if you tuck in the belly and bring the pelvis up just a bit. But also it rinses out our hips and adds a little bit of length to the quads. Last one, allow the legs to fall right. Just hold here. Again, a little bit of a twist here in through the spine. Focus now is going to be on the outside of the left thigh. So you can stay just like this, or you can add the weight of the right ankle on top of that thigh. Flex through both feet. Let the weight of that right ankle drop the left knee down. Maybe beginning to feel the stretch from the hip through the outer thigh to the knee. Upper body is at rest. And your only job is to breathe. If the neck feels healthy, maybe you complete the rotation by taking the head over to the left. Any amount, check in with your range of motion. If not, keep the head centered, looking right at the ceiling. One more breath. And then this leg structure, if you're using the ankle above the knee on the left, pick up the left knee, walk the left foot into the center of the mat and find yourself in your figure four. So if you didn't do the ankles, no problem, just bring the knees up, knees to the ceiling, and then draw the ankle back across. Take a nice big breath, bring the whole leg structure into the chest, maybe interlace around the left hamstring and use the right elbow to deepen here. Flexing through both feet, soften shoulders and jaw. And then just let that left foot kind of just fall down. Just relax and maybe circle through the ankle, the heel close to the thigh or the glute. Maybe roll the other way. Just pay attention that that right foot is still flexed. Spread the toes. And again, soften that left foot. Just let it hang. And then press the heel away. So you're not moving the shin. This is only movement through the foot and the ankle. Toes come up to the ceiling. We flex the foot. Heel points away. Achilles, back of the ankle, calf engage. And drop the toes like you were going to point them down towards the bottom of your mat. Finding some room in the top of the foot and the ankle. And again, you work. Flex and point. Right elbow still holding that right knee away. Maybe there's room as you tuck in the belly to draw in a little bit closer. And as you finish your point and flex, just let the foot again drop. Flare the toes, so the big toes and the pinky toe on the left foot separate. And then curl them in like you were making a fist with your tootsies. A couple more times, we flare, and we bring them in, and we flare. And again, let the left foot just drop. Press the elbow against the right thigh. One more full breath here. Bring your focus right to the right hip joint. And use the breath and see where you can soften. And nice and slow, we'll release this, release the hands. Bring the left foot down to the mat. Release the right ankle. And again, maybe let's walk the feet, edge of the mat, windshield wiper. And then the next time you're over on the left side, hold there. Begin to feel the weight of that right knee coming down, maybe a stretch through the outer thigh. If you want to go a little deeper, again, the left ankle comes to rest, flex through both feet. That weight, bring the right knee down. Taking in a full breath into the right ribs, maybe completing the stretch again by rotating the head gently over to the right. Enjoy a nice full deep breath here. Followed by that slow exhale to let the body soften into the pose. And again, drawing in the core, using the power of the core, strength of the hips. Lift the knees back up towards the ceiling and heel toe the right foot in, finding your figure four on the second side. So again, level out the hips, feel the entire spine, soften from the navel up. And as you're ready, without the use of hands, draw the leg structure in towards your thighs, your belly, your chest. Flex through both feet, and then maybe deepen the stretch by interlacing behind the right hamstring. Draw in and use that left elbow to help prop the left knee away. Re-soften through the shoulders, the jaw, the face. Both feet are flexed. And then we're just going to let the right foot just fall naturally. Nothing to hold up there. And then take a circle so the entire body is still as we work right into the right ankle. A couple turns one way and reverse. Slowing that down, let the right foot again just dangle down. And then activate that big toe. Point it down towards your mat and then lift it up towards the ceiling as you press the heel away from you. Point and flex. And again, this is only movement through the ankle and the foot. Soften shoulders. A couple more, waking up the front of the ankle. The back of the ankle even works its way into the calf. And then let the foot just drape for a moment. Make sure you have that upper foot, the left foot, in a flex position. And then spread the toes on the right foot as far away as you can. And draw them in. And flare. And draw in. One more time. Spread the toes. Curl them in. And then release the right foot, just let it fall. Bring your focus to the left hip. Make sure your hips are level. So if you've had the tendency to, what we all do, roll over towards the left, again, see if you can bring the pelvis level and draw the thigh in a little closer, bringing the focus into the left hip joint. Use your breath to soften. One more time, big inhale. And on your exhale, we'll release here. So hands release, right foot comes down, send the arms out to a T. Release the left ankle last time. Heel toe the feet to the edge of the mat. Rinse it out nice and slow. And on this last one, I'd like you to leave the right knee up, pointing towards the ceiling, and just drop the left knee into center. One side here, external rotation. Internal rotation. And then we'll pull the left knee back up towards the ceiling and drop the right in and just hold it there. And then both knees come up. Draw the knees back into the chest last time. Squeeze in, let the tailbone rise with you so you get a nice curvature into the low back. Maybe you rock, maybe you stay in stillness. And when you're ready in your own time, we'll meet on all fours. So as we arrive on all fours, remember we spread the fingers wide. So we begin to bring some circulation into the fingers and into the palms, stacking the joints, shoulders right over the wrist. Kind of sway those hips a little bit like a little puppy dog, happy that you're home. And bringing yourself back to center, center being, pressing into the palm, finding roundness in the shoulders. Belly scoops in. Exhaling all the breath out now. Couple cat cows. So just sinking the belly as you lift the tailbone, you lift the heart, and you just gaze towards the top of your mat. And pressing back into those palms, tailbone, back, rolls in. The chin rolls in towards the throat, the crown of the head drops. And we'll move like that again, just through the spine, all the little muscles that reside there. In our yogic life, all the energy centers. Use your breath for each movement. Coming back to your neutral table, scoop the belly back in. Leave the hips right where they are, right over the knees. Walk the hands forward, heart melting pose, Anahatasana. So you can do this one arm at a time, taking that forearm across the mat to rest the head as you extend one arm, or you can continue to crawl the fingers forward. And as you crawl the fingers forward, you allow the chest and the forehead to lower down to the mat. You draw the belly in so that there's no sag in the spine. And your breath is to release the tissues under the arm and the chest and the heart down to the mat. 2 breaths here. If you're using one arm, switch over to the other. If this feels easier for you and you want to intensify it, lift the fingers up towards the ceiling so the palms are facing away from you and you're pressing down into the heel of the hand, sending it away. Very intense right through the shoulders, so nice and easy with breath. And then we'll plant those palms and slowly walk ourselves back. Finding that table, finding the scoop belly, just a cat and cow again, just rounding through the spine. Bring the knees together at the center of the mat. Untuck the toes if they're tucked. So press down into the tops of your feet, the tops of your toes. Get a nice stretch there. Big breath. And then as you exhale, just sink the hips down towards the heels. Extend the arms again forward, but resting on the forearms. The head can be on your towel or your block. Rotating from the wrist, flip the palms open. Again, maybe try that thumb and pinky finger. Maybe it doesn't work. Maybe you need to draw your elbows in a little bit. Just feel the expanse through the finger joints. And then make a fist and draw all the fingers in and draw the knuckles in towards the inner wrist and just hold there for a stretch on the outside of the wrist. And then release that and open up the fingers as wide as you can. We'll make that fist again. Draw in, knuckles in. Last time, open up. And this time the thumbs will come to the inner palm, wrap the 4 fingers around, and draw again, knuckles towards you. Then switch. So I don't know how else to even say this. The knuckles come together at center like a fist bump. Soften again those shoulders. The whole body's not working here. It's just the wrists and the fingers. And then send those knuckles right and left to the side of your mat, opening up the inner wrist. Come back, draw the knuckles together. And open up to the sides. Then come back and just release the hands from the wrist. Rotate the palms down. Send the palms out right and left as you extend your arms to the side. See if you can really relax the chest onto the thighs. And then draw the hands down by the feet, your choice. Palms up, just resting the arms, holding on to the heels to complete the circle of the body. Let the shoulder tips fall in, the chest and the belly to rest heavy on the thighs. And this is your chance, because we don't get too many, to breathe into the very back body, the back of the lungs, the back of the ribs. Take the full deep inhale. Feel that expansion. And then on your exhale, everything melts. Three full rounds of breath here. Release the heels if you have the heels, the back of the hand resting on the mat. Slide the back of the hands up towards the shoulders and then flip at the wrist. Come onto your palms. Lift yourself up. Tuck the toes under. So a little bit of an intensive toe pose here. Your choice. You can kneel. You still have that big stretch through the soles of the feet and the toe joints. You can bring your hands down. You can rest your hands at prayer or on the thighs. Let those shoulder tips fall back wherever you are. Breath into the whole front of the body. Know that you can come out at any time. We're just going to hold 5 breaths. Your end of summer breaths, so it's worth it, right? Big breath in. And release the breath. One more. Release the fingertips down to the mat, untuck the toes, and again, maybe hold still, pressing into the top of the feet, or maybe it feels good to paddle it out. And then flatten the feet and come back to the heels. Walk the fingertips behind you. So fingers pointing away behind you. First, press into those fingertips and lift the chest and open up the front of the shoulders. Head can drop back to the shelf of the trapezius, or if it's easier on your neck, tuck the chin in. And then coming back, extend the right arm out in front of you. Take the left hands, the left fingers around the right fingers. Thumb points out to the side and gently pull the right fingertips back towards the body. Soften the shoulders. Press the heel of the hand now further away. And then slowly, 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 don't just release and flip the hand. Guide the hand back down flat and just shake it out. Maybe twirl it around, little blood flow, circulation. Left arm extends right out in front from the shoulder. And again, the same thing. We're going to use that right hand to draw the left fingertips up towards the ceiling as the palm presses away from us, as the thumb points over to the left. So take it easy at first. Notice if all of a sudden you got all this tension in your shoulders. Soften where you can. And then begin to push the heel of the left hand further away as the fingers draw back. Thumb still out. And without rebounding too fast, we'll release this slowly. So slowly bring the left fingertips back up, supported by that right hand, and then release and shake it out. All right, let's flow into fall. Hands on the mat, tuck the toes, lift the hips, forward fold. So my forward fold, my feet are hip distance apart. My knees are bent because I really have not opened up through my hamstrings. Bring the hands to wrap around the back of the ankles so your inner forearm rests on the back of the calf. Let the head completely fall and release. Maybe you circle through the head, that yes and no. Feeling the length in the neck, this natural traction here. Maybe you sway the hips again, right and left. And we'll release that. Let the arms just dangle in front of you. So there's nothing we're holding up here. Arms are heavy right out of the socket. The fingers, the hands just relaxed on the floor. Drawing in the belly, maybe there's a little more room to straighten the legs, not all the way, just so you can feel the opening in the hamstrings. And then press into the feet, bend the knees deeply, roll your way up to stand. And as you arrive, let the shoulders come up to the ears, roll the shoulders down the back, coming into your standing pose. Lift all 10 toes, spread them wide. So really feeling into your foundation here. Slight bend into the knees. Inhale, let's lift the arms out to the side, palms raised to the ceiling as we bring them together in prayer. Interlace, let the pointer fingers go towards the ceiling. Draw in the core, feel again the extension through the side body. Big breath in, and we're just going to take a lateral over to the right. So side bend right. Let the hips stay right in line with the heels. Maybe rotate the chest up just a bit. Take a full breath. Let the body sink. Inhale, we come back to center. Reach long. Change the clasp. So other thumb on top. Point your fingers towards the ceiling. Find the inhale, engage the belly, and let's take it off to the side. So don't collapse in. It's easy to just bring those shoulders in. See if you can take the shoulders away, lift the heart. Take a full breath. Exhale, let the body settle. And enjoy one more full inhale. Slow exhale. And then slowly bring yourself back up, reach the pointer fingers up, disengage the hands, bring them behind you, interlace at the sacrum. So if it's hard to interlace and squeeze the palms together, I invite you to hold on to your wrist or your forearms. But as you squeeze in, send the fist or the forearms down towards your mat and away from the body. So again, big chest opener, big opener through the shoulders. And maybe here, as you press away, you lift up the chest and you open up the throat. And leaving the upper body just like this. Remember your foundation, your feet. Feel into your feet. Begin to bend into your knees. Keep the upper body as it is, like you're sitting down, stooping in a chair. The belly comes to the thighs, the ribs come down, the head comes down, the arms float up towards the ceiling first. Reach and let them float as far overhead as your range of motion governs. One more breath. Reach back the fist or the forearms to the ceiling, and then gently release. Let those arms dangle back down, releasing the whole upper body again to the thighs. And slowly ragdoll your way back up to stands. Shoulder tips up, shoulder tips back, and we'll walk to the top of our mat to flow a couple half sun sounds. So to greet the new season, to greet the sun and the moon's equal moment together. Let's flow. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, let's swan dive forward. So lead with the heart, straight spine, fingertips to the mat. Let the body fold. Enjoy a deep inhale as you find that half lift. On your half lift, tailbone goes back, crown of the head forward, shoulders roll onto the back, belly's in, and then we let all the breath go as we fold. Press into the feet, bend your knees, bring it up. Arms extend out, arms extend up. We find that prayer, maybe a gentle back bend. And then we flow again, arms extend, heart leads the way, belly's in, forward fold. Half lift on the inhale. Release deeply on the exhale. Bending the knees as much as you need to rise up, to reach out and up. Hands to prayer, gentle back bend. And now as you flow this now for 3 times, eyes closed, what does this new season hold for you? This harvest moon, what are you harvesting that we might have planted here in the summer and nourished? What seeds didn't work? What gave you the most fruit? Let that be your centering thought. Taking your own time, body and breath. We'll meet in prayer Tadasana as you finish. Shoulders soft, face soft, hands at prayer right at the heart. And as hard as it is, we try to resist transition, but maybe we just use the mantra, going with the flow. Big breath in. Inhale, reach the arms back up. This time, hands prayer through heart center, you fold. And half lift. We're going to plant the hands. We're going to step back, find a plank pose. So a powerful pose to greet the season. Press through the palms, round through the shoulders. Send the heels back, send the chest forward, and draw the belly in. Nice, full, deep breath. And then the knees come down to the mat. Walk the hands towards the body. Roll to one hip and swing the feet in front of you. Last stretch for the chest. The fingertips come behind, pointing towards your hips. Press into the fingertips, draw the belly in. Open up the heart space. Prepare yourself here. Great things to come. And then nice and slow, walk the fingertips back, right underneath the knee crease, slowly roll down onto the back body. Draw the knees in, big hug, maybe a nice rock, and release. Legs extend, long corners of the mat, the feet just naturally flop open. If you have a block or your blanket, to weight down the hips just to find a little grounding. Extend the arms away from the body, palms up. And as you do that, lift the chest gently just to squeeze those shoulder blades underneath you, tucking in the chin to find a little length in the back of the neck. And then settle in stillness. Relax and rest. Shavasana. We're going to slowly come out of our Shavasana by taking a full body stretch. Fingers away from toes. Draw the knees in so that you can roll over to the side and make your way to the seat. And your seat can be legs extended, it can be cross-seated. Just stack through your spine, let the shoulders roll back, bring the hands to prayer at the center of the heart, and bow your head. In gratitude for the inner wisdom that brought you to your mat this morning, I thank you for your practice with me. I thank you for your practice with each other. And may your harvest be full. Namaste. Thank you, guys.